Money Morning Live. It's time that we dive into some cryptocurrencies over the next hour with Nick Black. Got some special stuff today in 5, 4, 3, 2.
We're diving into We're diving into stuff. Are you diving? Eric, do your dive thing. Do your dive pose. Oh, you put your head down?
I don't dive, man. I hate putting my head underwater, to be fair. Don't like it.
How do you shower?
Well, no, underwater in like pools and such. I was
like,
king of the dog paddle, man.
My face stays clean. I'll just shower the rest of me. My face is always clean.
Very, very clean person. But in the pool, I jump in and keep the head above water as a kid. Crazy.
Oh, no. Did you have the little arm floaties?
No, I stopped wearing them when I was like 12, okay?
They're like, give Umberto the floaties because he's simple. That was Eric. Give Eric the floaties because he's simple, the arm floaties.
See?
And then if you got anywhere near the water, some parent would scream, give him the floaties. Don't let him go in there.
I could swim. I just didn't like getting my face wet, which means I was an even better swimmer. Okay, let's get on with the show.
That means you can't swim because that's not swimming.
It's my way. What's going on today, Nick?
Anyway, welcome to the American Institute for Crypto Investors and Eric swimming with floaties like the simple kid. I am Nick Black. This is Eric, who's not Ryan, who's not Brandon, who's not Eric. And, what gaming shirt are you wearing? You have anything cool? I noticed you had a video that had 1 million views.
I did. I posted a TikTok, actually, that just got 1 million views. Crazy stuff.
What was that thing? A little gecko?
It was a snake. It was I forget what kind of snake it was, but it looked like a little robot when it was going, and people seemed to like it on TikTok. Crazy.
A gammon viper or something like that?
Gaboon viper. That's what it was, exactly, yeah. 2-inch fangs. 2-inch fangs, one of the most venomous snakes, yeah. Crazy.
And it's just on some sidewalk?
Yeah, I know, right? I think it's Africa. They do have Africa, somewhere in Africa.
Everything kills you.
Watch out.
Everything in Africa kills you.
But yeah.
All right.
That's true.
Well, we've got a jam-packed show full of vipers and cryptos and some Q&A and things like that. So we could look at some headlines. We could look at markets. We could do that. Everything's quiet after the non-important, known way in advance, useless, pointless Fed rate adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And my guess is that's the last one. Because unlike these other rubes that went to school in 1960, all you have to do is look at the whole rest of the world and the yield curve, and it's all right there, obviously in front of you. Period, full stop. Bro, the world is going slow.
Sometimes
it is what
nice
it is.
To go slow.
You know what? There's a lot of money to be made in these slow markets. So I know in the digital asset space, I like these down markets. I've told I think I've talked about this a lot in the heavyweights, but the most of the big money that I made was not when markets were going up. It was buying. Well, it was the things that I did when these markets were quiet like this. So I had a period in 2016 where it was quiet before and even the first part of 2017, not a whole lot was going on. That's where the big money was made, because what you did in 2016 and the early part of 2017 paid you ridiculous in 2017. Then 2018 going in 2019, things got quiet. The things that you did, the investments you made, especially infrastructure and otherwise in 2018, end of 2018, 2019, beginning of 2020, got you paid all the way through late 2021. That was peak insanity, peak weirdness, because you had people getting their, couch money and getting paid to basically not work, and all that money, those currency units made their way into the coffers of Amazon. And in that process of making its way to Amazon, some of it got pushed to the side to go into both the equity space through punters that were using Robinhood like idiots. And 99% of the people lost their money, and like 4 people made money, and everybody just remembers that everybody made money, which is weird. And then a couple of those punters came into crypto space, and they were, buying Dogecoin at 71 cents. And it's gone. So those punters lost their money. It's just like continual. You have rookies giving their money to veterans, and mostly it's quite obvious, this pattern. And then everybody else giving their money to Amazon, and the Fed doing nothing ever anyway. So that's so I don't know why people get so excited about the irrelevance of the Fed. There's like 16 people that actually think it means something, and most of them work for CNBC. But did you see, Eric, there's a reverse Kramer ETF?
No. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
What is this?
You can actually invest in and whatever Kramer says, you can invest in the opposite of it, and it's doing really well.
Well, that says something about him now, doesn't it?
Kramer had he had said, "Oh, Sam Bankman-Fried is the next JP Morgan. He's awesome. Woo woo."
I recall you speaking about this, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yesterday Kramer tweets that he likes Binance. And he feels safe about Binance. First of all, Kramer doesn't even know how to spell Binance. But second, CZ, the CEO of Binance, came on and said, "No thanks, please don't endorse us."
That's funny. They don't even want to be associated in any way.
In any way with CNBC, and especially with Kramer, who, by the way, I'm not a Kramer hater. Kramer used to be pretty good money manager. Then he liked the liquids. And so he had some problems. I read his book. It's very interesting, actually. And then he kind of melted down. Then he got with CNBC. He was good for a while, and then he blew up. The whole Timothy Geithner thing. He went nuts on it, and he called these dudes out for being idiots, and he called the Fed out for being idiots, and he called the Treasury Secretary out for being an idiot, like they are, and they muzzled him. And when they muzzled him, Kramer, that was the end of the Kramer that actually said anything valuable, and now he's just a kind of a sad little puppet lapdog, just embarrassment.
It's too bad. Nick, you give good advice all the time, man. Hey, can I bring something up here? Can I chime in?
Go on. I know it's what is it? You say like you got a thorn in your, or an itch in your crop. What is one of those redneck sayings?
I don't know. I don't know about the redneck stuff, but I do have something I'd like to say.
Go on.
All right, thank you, Nick. So I know that Elon Musk, right? You talk about all these things. You give people good ideas of investments that they can make in the crypto space.
I like Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, he's got the whole Tesla thing, which is old news now, but there's some new stuff coming out that is pretty hush-hush, Nick. And I know that you have some crypto plays that can kind of play along with this. And now this is something that you've been talking about with your digital heavyweight. So if you are a digital heavyweight, this is something that you've probably heard of from Nick if you've been attending the sessions. But at 1 o'clock today, there is a special event dropping that people can attend that's going to fill them in on this whole thing that's coming up in your whole plan, your whole idea here. So if you want to sign up for that, and I will prompt you again later on in the show, you just have to click on the screen and you could sign up to watch this thing at 1 o'clock with Nick to see what the idea is, what the plans are. And again, if you're a digital heavyweight though, you may have heard this already, so don't get mad at Nick.
Yeah, we talk about this at pretty great length in the heavyweights, but we do really kind of deep dive stuff. But the rest of the community is not super hip to this, and so we kind of put a big giant thing together that we think will help a lot of people square it away in their mind and frame it correctly. If you're not a heavyweight, this will kind of help you do that. All right,
there you go.
Eric.
Yeah, Nick.
Should we take a quick look at markets?
Yes, we should. We definitely should. What is going on in the markets? I know that
nothing.
Well, nothing at all? Didn't Bitcoin get like above 18,000 or something for a minute yesterday?
It got 18.3. Now, what was interesting is it got to 18,300 based on the idea that the Fed was going to raise by only 50 basis points. Most people that are not, economically challenged, they kind of know that that's the Fed's hawkishness is done. The Fed is a backwards facing organization that pretty much historically, since its inception, has never, ever gotten anything right. So knowing that, when you look at the rest of the world, it's pretty clear. So the crypto community, oddly, was super excited about the 50 basis points. And then the 50 basis points happened. And then there was like a sigh. Now, I'm not sure why it got excited about 50 basis points, because that interest rate doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to anyone. So ridiculous. That it's like a lending rate that has just a small group of banks can even participate. And they're easing, and none of that stuff affects anybody. You can look at the yield curve. You can forget the Fed. If you want to understand what the market is thinking and what the people that look at money are thinking, just look at the yield curve and just go out past the 2-year. And what you see is what the general consensus is for growth and inflation expectations. All right. And unlike what the Fed says, no, the yield curve is not a series of 1-year forwards. That's a bunch of garbage nonsense, and it's been proven mathematically wrong forever. So if that's the book that you're reading from, that's a bad book. Well, where it applies to crypto is when all the punters left, you pretty much, the DNA of the average investor, and Eric, we talk about this a bit, is kind of the same people that have exposure into the equity space. Now, there's some early adopters in the crypto space, especially now after, the recent series of, insolvencies and all this kind of stuff, and all the bad companies blew up. But none of those companies were crypto. Those were banks custodying crypto. The only one that was actually crypto was Luna, and only complete immense idiots bought into the algorithmic stablecoin nonsense that guy was spewing, who, by the way, he's on the run. They think he's in like Serbia now, like hiding out in Serbia.
Everyone seems to be on the run.
I'm not on the run. Do Kwon, yeah, he's on the run. Huh. He has a red warrant out for him. That's the same thing they gave Osama bin Laden. Anyway,
who was
that's Do Kwon. So that's right. But what's going on in the crypto space right now is a lot of people waiting. I think there's a lot of people like me and like the heavyweights. We're waiting to see what January brings for the settlement of MT Gox as far as Bitcoin. I think that's important. I think we need to know what that distribution looks like. You do have big players coming in. Unfortunately, BlackRock, fortunately or unfortunately, probably good for all of us early investors, bad for the future of humanity. But yeah, Goldman Sachs, BlackRock, BNY Mellon. I'm not a hater of BNY Mellon. You got 50 trillion in assets under management. You're doing something okay. But the big Fidelity, all of these players are going to offer first their A-list clients, their preferred clients, ways to both collect, invest, get exposure to and custody crypto assets. And then that's going to work its way down to the smaller facilities, and pretty soon you'll be able to do it on E-Trade. And then you'll be able to custody crypto at your local bank, because Jamie Dimon and the rest of these guys are not stupid, and they know that if they don't offer custody, people are going to debank. And I think you're going to see massive debanking over the next 2 to 3 years as people realize, hey, I don't really have to, because look, your average person's paying. Eric, do you keep a high enough balance in your bank that you don't pay any fees ever?
I have a high enough balance in my bank, but I still think I have fees. I don't know. Maybe I need to look for a better.
Well, if you think about it, if they're charging, you're paying for them to use your money, to go and make money on your money. You're paying them for the opportunity to let them use your money in very suspicious ways, because as we've seen, 2007, 2008, 2009, when it goes wrong, we don't get bailed out, they get bailed out. We're only protected up to X amount. We did a whole show yesterday talking about stablecoins and how it actually works, and how a lot of the problems in stablecoins have nothing to do with the stablecoins, and even nothing to do with the facilities that manage the stablecoins or those trusts. It has to do with the terrestrial legacy banking system that is way, way, way undercapitalized, and they can't make good on the money they owe the trust funds that own and issue the stable coins, because they have all sorts of not just rules and regulations, but when you put $500 in the bank, it's gone before it gets there. It's already been lent, right? So that your asset immediately gets fired off as a liability and goes and backstops some other financial product. So when you got to get the money back, it's easy. It takes you 10 seconds to deposit money in a bank. But if you have a big enough amount of money, it may take you days or weeks or never to get it out. So there you go. And Gino says that the link has the wrong time, Eric.
The link has the wrong time. Means. Well, let me go check the link and I'll go have a look. I will say that it is at 1:00 p.m. today. So I'll check out the link, and if it has the wrong time.
Is it 1 Eastern? Is it 1 Eastern?
I mean, usually we run everything on Eastern, but let me check just to make sure for everyone. Okay. Let me confirm.
I live in Los Angeles. I know what you're talking about.
It's all about Eastern time. You know that.
Well, if it's 1 p.m. Eastern, it couldn't be 11 Pacific, because that wouldn't be enough hours. So yes, Elizabeth says 1 p.m. Eastern. That would be 10. Wouldn't it be 10 Pacific?
That would be 10 Pacific, I believe.
Woo woo! Look at me with my mad math skills. Okay, Eric. So to sum up what's going on in the market, is a lot of I'm not sure. A lot of people waiting for the next person to invest. And that's what we get right now. I have a lot of people asking, hey, what is going on with this coin? What's going on with that coin? Well, what's going on is if the teams are well-funded, they just continue to build. They continue to, all of these, when you're looking at here's a great example, layer ones. Cardano, Matic is a layer 2, but it has a lot of the same characteristics as a layer 1. Polkadot, kind of Cosmos, Algorand, Near. What are they doing? They're continuing to build. They're very well funded. They're continuing to build. And for them, everything's fine. And it's a lot easier to build and to work on your protocol and to do things to move, kind of push code and all that, when you don't have everyone clamoring, screaming about the high prices, when price becomes the discussion. Because when all these things turn green, 5, 6, 7 months from now, and we're going off into one of those expansionary phases, no one gives I'm trying to think of a word that's not a cuss word. No one gives a about
hoot,
use, utility, adoption, anything. All they care about is green candlesticks. Oh my God, we're mooning. We're going to the moon and all this kind of crap. And that what that does is it sucks in the worst behavior, the worst investors, just the worst of everything. And that's when most of us would be starting to cash out, starting to go to the sidelines, starting to kind of quietly exit some positions, take some profit, because humans move in cycles. There's no straight lines. Everything mean reverts, right? But then when things go up, you're like, oh my God. And real quick, remember 0072621 my take on Stellar and Cosmos. I love Cosmos. I think Stellar is a waste. I think they had a good idea 3 years ago. Time and tide passed them by. They're done. You don't need Stellar to move money. You can just do a swap. We have stable coins. I don't know why. It doesn't even make sense to me why someone would think that makes sense. I'm not singling you out. I owned a lot of Stellar and it just didn't make sense. Why do you need a third asset to do a 2 currency swap? You could just swap currency directly. I can swap X for Y. Why do I need Z? Why do we need to go X, Z, and back to Y? Doesn't make any sense. XRP, unfortunately, the same thing. The only thing that XRP has that's kind of interesting is David Schwartz and company created the XRP ledger. But guess what? The ledger doesn't require the use of XRP to facilitate transactions. So if they want to be a payment gateway to these exotic corridors, as they say, which again is not that interesting, because you can do this with the already existing rails. You can use any of the wallets and you can move currency units and swap currency units in real time. You got Uniswap, you got MetaMask, you got all these decentralized swap facilities. So you don't need the XRP ledger. So all these guys waiting for a great reset, I just think you're waiting for something that's never going to happen. You got sold a weird myth, kind of a dream. And I don't know. As an investment, terrible. Now, Cosmos, they're building many of the tools that I think decentralized finance may end up using. I say may because we don't know. There's a handful of these protocols, and companies will choose who they choose. I think Italy is choosing to use Algorand to launch their government-backed stable asset. That's pretty interesting. My guess was always that Algorand was kind of, they're a bit douchey. They don't need us. They don't need the retail investor. They don't care about us. They want enterprise deals, and enterprise deals for them are giant, 500 billion plus companies or governments. We are not that. So they don't care, and I don't mind that they don't care. If they have a vision, then they should follow that vision. And theirs is enterprise. And my guess is Algorand probably does pretty good in an environment where a whole country uses the rails of their protocol to launch an asset. Now, does Italy do much business? Well, not so much, but it's not nothing. And yet the price went down on that news. And you go, what in the smoke? Because people are at peak sadness and peak depression. And that's good. That's when you should be investing. All right. Let's hit the Q's and A's so that we don't leave those people hanging.
I knew you were going to say that, Nick. I knew it. And that's where I was going right
Bam.
there. Perfect timing. We're on the same page. Fabiola. Hey, Nick, do you know what the massive spike on BAL the other day was all about?
Nope. Next question.
Oh, boy. Okay. Next question. Here we go. SJ Mike.
Any more than I know what color shirt you're wearing, Fabiola? No one knows. It's usually some pumping on some illiquid exchange that makes everybody go, ah. And then the last 4 people that still invest on that kind of news, they buy in and they end up holding a bag of stuff that drops 74% one night.
So there's your insight on it. Nice.
That's it.
That's fine. Okay. SJ Mike asks, hey, Nick, have a question for you. If you get hacked on Coinbase wallet, is there any recourse to recover?
No. Nope.
I was actually talking to Tom about this yesterday in his microcurrency trader room. He was saying it's not about really getting hacked. It's more about you giving away your access because people will send you those phishing emails and things like that. It's not like the platform gets hacked. You make a mistake and give your stuff to somebody.
Yeah, be SJ Mike, and you're probably asking for a friend, but your friend didn't get hacked. Your friend disclosed their private keys or passphrase. That's what they did. Now, you may not know how they did that, but remember, Coinbase Wallet is not Coinbase. Coinbase Wallet is like MetaMask Wallet. It's a private wallet. So there you go.
There you go. All right.
You disclose your keys, you lose your stuff. You lose
Don't
your
just
stuff, it's
don't
gone.
disclose. Is that still your name here in the chat too? Do you still have don't disclose your keys?
Yeah. Don't give me your private keys. Yeah.
That's okay.
I mean, you can give me and Eric your private keys. Everything will be fine.
Yes, we're very trustworthy. Cruising on crypto, DHW lifetime member. Question, Nick, with a boxing glove.
Bam!
Any news on Fetch? Saw 100,000 wallets, but not really sure why it's up. Yeah, Fetch had another big jump too. It was up by I think actually last week we were on the show. Yeah, it was going up.
So it looks like I think that the jump in Fetch was that Binance offered soft staking through Binance. So people that are on Binance that have the coin wouldn't have to move it off and do all the wallet stuff. They could just stake it right there for 7%. Or you could do a little extra work and get 9.2, 9.3%. Again, chasing staking, nowhere else in the world are you getting these kind of returns. But remember, you're getting the return in the asset, in kind. Now, if the asset doesn't perform, it doesn't matter what percentage you get of it. So I wouldn't just go out and do, I guess the long end of it is Binance is offering staking. That created some enthusiasm. Some people probably said, I love my 7%. I'll take 7%. And they bought the coin, and there we go. And it's given a little bit of that away. Although I think Fetch is going to have a very good year next year.
Yes, I have some of that. Yeah, I like to hear it. Hey, I just grabbed this question from chat because I liked it, from Chance the Investor. Now that Coinbase Pro is done, what should we be using with Coinbase? The $29 a month service at Coinbase?
No.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I just took some of my Ethereum off of MetaMask, brought it over to Coinbase, and someone else, it was actually Brandon, he was able to bring it to Coinbase Pro literally last week. And I thought that Coinbase Pro was done and out of commission, but he was still able to access it. So I'm wondering if it's still available for some people and not closed everywhere, but not the $29
I still have
a month,
access to it. Yeah, they haven't sunset. You don't need to pay $29 a month.
No.
What are you paying $29 a month for? Are
Yeah,
you
what's that
trading
even
every
for?
13 seconds? I don't know. Use the advanced trading features. You're paying 50 basis points a trade, 0.5%. It's not bad. Nothing wrong with that. You shouldn't be, man, if you're trading crypto, you're a junkie. You got problems. You should not be trading crypto. There's far too much weirdness, bad information, missing information. And like, what are you trading right now? We're at the bottom of a market. We're at like 2-year lows. Why on earth would you try to trade this? What's your trading? I'm going to short it for what? Infinity loss? Get kicked out of your house at Christmas? Go sit outside, like in those movies where someone sits outside over a trash can where there's fire burning and you look at people having a delicious turkey? Don't be that guy.
Oh man, Nick, I just got a question in the chat that I want to take. I just want to
do it.
Yeah. Will Solana become a side chain of Cardano? Charles Hodgkinson wants this. Any thoughts?
No, he doesn't want this. Charles is tongue in cheek. He said the same thing about Polkadot. Hey, become a side chain. It's like saying, hey, give up all of your stupid, ridiculous, terrible code and bad behavior and just, run your crappy company on top of Cardano because this is a non-crappy company, because this is an actual good company. It's basically telling everyone at Solana to give up and quit and just list a Solana asset and let people use Cardano to trade stupid Solana tokens. And otherwise it's basically just saying, come to Cardano, come to
See, sometimes people need to be careful when they speak sarcastically because you never know how it's going to be taken. Some people take these things literally, where you were able to read into it.
Well, he's laughing when he says it on a live stream. He's giggling. Hey, become a sidechain.
Oh, clearly.
Eric, hey, become one of my disciples.
He'd trick me. I'd follow. Hey, Nick, reminding everyone right now,
Yes.
1 o'clock today is the event that people are going to want to be part of. If you are a digital heavyweight.
AI.
Is that a hint?
You like how I did that?
A?
No, AI.
Yeah, but you got to get rid of the first bend. Get that one out of there.
No, that's I. No, that's not cool.
Oh.
AI?
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Oh.
And it looks like a cool thing,
Bam.
like you're framing yourself. Yeah, it looks good. There you go. Nick, any last things you want to say? Let everyone know what's going on in digital heavyweights. Of course, they know to sign up at 1 o'clock. It'll be great.
I want to thank all the little people.
Oh. Is that me?
Ones that work in the circus.
Oh. Circus was in town actually by me the other day. Do they still have lions and things at circuses and elephants, or is that not a thing anymore?
I don't think so. I think we're way too woke for that.
I think we are. All right, Nick. Hey, this was a nice show. You did a very good job, and I appreciate you coming to hang out with us. Did you like that? I meant it.
Disingenuous. Thank you.
I meant it. No, I love having
You didn't mean nothing.
I meant all of it.
Well, that's Eric, who's not Ryan, who's not Brandon, who's not Eric. And on that note, well, for many of you, for you non-heavyweights, we'll see you at 1 Eastern. And for everyone else, we'll see you tomorrow for digital heavyweights. Stay in school, don't do drugs, don't do anything that my poor, insolvent, drunk, strung out on meth grandmother, or Ryan, who's not Brandon, who's not Eric, who's not Ryan, who's not, wouldn't do. And I bid you, and Nancy Pelosi. Pew, 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 pew.